Greetings, friend. My name is Stan Houston. Perhaps you know me. And I'm finally back after 7 days off. Couple things. First of all, I said friend. Obviously, I hopefully am speaking to friends. But I want you to understand that whenever I do a program like this, one of the things that I try to do differently is actually to have some particular person in mind. I'm speaking one person. That's all I am. To one person. And the best kind of communication is just exactly that. One person having a conversation with another person. It's like writing a letter. Like today, I'm going to take some time after I do this program and I have 4 letters I want to write. And they're actually going to be handwritten with a bottle of fountain pen ink, 2 to my children, both my daughters, 1 to my grandson, who we just had a wonderful time with, and then to a new friend that I just met and found him to be a bit of a kindred spirit. I'm trying to make a point of writing at least a personal note, a handwritten note, every day as best I can, and to see if that might be a way of doing my year a little bit differently. I'm supposed to say Happy New Year, but I'm not going to do that. First of all, that has too much of what I believe is the idea that happiness is one of the premier goals in life. Well, it's not. I oftentimes say, and I said in a recent podcast, I said if you want to have a happy year, try to see if you can make some other people happy. And then perhaps happiness might come to you. But don't seek it. Seek to be a person of service, of humility, and goodwill, and perhaps some achievement on behalf of others. Do that, and you know what? Even though you don't seek happiness, it just might come to you. That's a part of my thought to you this New Year's Eve. Actually, the last time I was on the air was December 24th, and I at that time said, trying to get your attention, God needed a woman. And she said yes. And thank you for your responses to that tribute to Mary, who took the risk, had the courage, and who knows what else was in her heart, mind, and spirit, that knowing the risk, she said yes to God. I've never been one to be very traditional in my New Year's celebrations. It's just not me. Drink too much, eat too much, make a party celebration. It's just never been my style. And who wants that? Who wants to start the new year having eaten too much, perhaps a bit hungover, with a headache? None of that stuff ever appealed to me. Though I do admit that when I was younger, I sometimes felt that way, particularly because I was raised in a very strong Christian, almost conservative, maybe even fundamentalist home. The New Year's Eve was done by what was called a watch night service, and we were gathered around and we spent 3 hours from 9 o'clock to midnight in church. But it turns out, first of all, we had a big movie, nice movie, obviously some of a Christian or religious theme. Oftentimes it was something about how the scientific world and the natural world could be related to our faith. That was always interesting. Then we went down in usually the church basement or fellowship hall, and we'd have a party. But it was pretty tame by most standards. It was just good things to eat, nothing crazy, coffee to drink, and of course there were games for the children and prizes for the children. That was always kind of fun, and the adults just kind of enjoyed the fellowship. Then after 11 o'clock, they all went up to a little service, and the only lights on in the church were candle lights, and there was a brief sermon. And then they served communion. And then after communion, they had, as I pointed out, the old Hammond organ. And they would find a way to ring the chimes at 12 o'clock. And at that time, the pastor would begin to say a prayer on behalf of us all and for our world. And then when we got up from the prayer time, we were encouraged to say, Happy New Year. And of course, we would greet and hug the people that were there that we knew. And it was kind of a Happy New Year. Yeah. I used to make fun of that a little bit, but now I'm discovering that probably wasn't a bad idea. But I want to just encourage you to look at this year perhaps a little bit differently than you may have looked at any other year. I look back, remember 2020, we really expected that would be a great year. 2020, we're going to see 2020. Well, 2020 turned out to be a terrible year. But we said 2021 will hopefully be better. Well, it didn't turn out to be much better. And 22, well, here we are still plugging and plodding along, and a certain recovery has taken place from the epidemic, but now we are facing other difficulties. And so I'm not there to say Happy New Year, but what I would like to say is this. Just as my program last week, by the way, my wife said, you haven't been on the radio or on the video for 7 days. I said, that's right. I promised you we'd take a full week off and go be with our grandson and enjoy some of the treats in Florida. And I literally was fully off. Didn't take my computer with me. Didn't do anything but try to be very present to my family. So I accomplished that. But here I am 7 days later, and I'm back at it. One of the persons who influenced me greatly was a statesman by the name of E. Stanley Jones, and in his autobiography, he entitled it The Divine Yes. And his point was that what every opportunity that comes to us, we should seek ways to say a divine yes to it. Now, there's a lot of meaning in what that could be, but yes means yes to the purposes of goodness and true greatness and success. All of those things that we tend to admire, let's seek to say yes to those opportunities, and let's say no to the things that might get in the way of that. Learn to say the divine yes. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Even today, the news is full. Barbara Walters, a world-famous news maker here in America, died after a lengthy illness of dementia. And the former Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, Pope Benedict, who had retired, very unusual, also died. So all of that will be taking up the news as well as the fun and frolic of the year and of the day. But I would really encourage you to say this to yourself and to others. May it be peaceful. But I didn't say peaceful. It probably won't be. But that you personally would have, because of the presence to the right spirits and the right things, that you will have a deep sense of peace. Peaceful. And the things that got you angry, mad, and upset will have less control over you. And the things that got you anxious and fretful and fearsome would have less control over you. You would be truly peaceful. And then just simply say, may I be useful. Yeah, but I'm actually useful to people. Useful to the people I serve, the people I work for. I'm useful. And then may I actually walk with a certain poise and peace of mind. In the right sense of the word, that they will sense a man or a woman who is graceful. They just have that sense of grace that they share with others. And so, peaceful, useful, graceful, and perhaps you can seek a way to bless others. Make it simple. I'm here every day to bless others. And how am I going to do that today? I'm going to go to bed early because I never stay up late, but I will be up early in the morning because I've got a new year to begin and new things to do and new opportunities before me, and I want to be ready to go. I hope this has been helpful to you. Perhaps you can join us because most of the things we're going to be doing will be an opportunity for you too. And I'm hoping that in many cases, as we provide these opportunities and as you feel led and as your spirit directs, you will say, to the best of things that come, yes, yes, yes. Thanks for your time on this New Year's Eve. Be blessed.